This is the Shashe-Limpopo Basin, a zone that defines the modern political boundaries of Zimbabwe, Botswana, and South Africa.
Rekori borine sa Bait Bridge vothe vaendela mashango kudani na dza shango idani ni de ni vone nga mato a vwinu uri hechi chinopfi Bait Bridge ndi mini.
Hello and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Sustain, where we discuss sustainable ideas at grassroots level. Now today I'm in Tuli in Matebeleland South, and behind me is Vembe River, commonly known as Limpopo River. Across the river is Mapungubwe National Park in South Africa. Now today's show we want to discuss sustainable tourism. Now sustainable tourism is tourism that takes care of the environment while supporting the communities where the tourism activities take place. In Zimbabwe, there are vast tourism opportunities, sustainable tourism opportunities that is, especially in rural areas. Today, we want to find out what Bait Bridge has to offer as we experience the best of Zimbabwe. Joining me on the show is Joseph Israel Thompson, and he's the chairman of the Rural Enterprise Development Trust. And they have facilitated an event which is showcasing sustainable ideas, particularly in the tourism sector in rural Bait Bridge. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much once again for sharing your ideas with us. What led you to think of bringing ordinary Zimbabweans to come and witness such opportunities?
We've realized that there's a lot of underlying opportunities that are found in our rural areas, and these opportunities are not being tapped into. We've also experienced serious rural to urban migration, where people are migrating from rural areas into urban areas looking for employment. And we've seen also a migration of people from Zimbabwe into the diaspora, where they are looking for the so-called green pastures. And now we have got a problem of an aging population that is found in rural areas that is not pensionable. And a lot of people think that rural areas are only places for retirement. So we decided to come up with a program where we are unlocking opportunities that are found in rural areas.
Sustainable Development Goal number 8 aims to promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all, leaving no one behind. One of the goals of SDG 8 targets sustainable tourism. Tourism is one of the world's fastest growing industries and an important source of foreign currency and employment, while being closely linked to the social, economic, and environmental well-being of many countries, especially in the developing world. According to the World Travel and Tourism Council, in 2019, before the COVID-19 outbreak, travel and tourism was one of the world's largest sectors, accounting for 10.4% of the global GDP, that is $9.2 trillion, as well as 10.6% of all jobs, that is 334 million jobs, and it was responsible for creating 1 in 4 of all new jobs across the world. Zimbabwe cannot be left out of this multi-trillion-dollar opportunity, considering the amount of rich treasure, wildlife, history, culture, heritage, and natural resources we have. But the question is, where is this treasure, and what exactly is it?
On this trip, we've come to the Tuli region.
Exactly.
Why Tuli? Why not any other region? What are the particular opportunities that you identified that are here?
Tuli is a quite fascinating and intriguing area. It has a lot of historical background. Tuli is close to Mapungubwe. And Tuli is the area where the pioneer column crossed into Zimbabwe when they were coming from South Africa, coming to colonize Zimbabwe, getting into Mashonaland. But most of this heritage, cultural and historical heritage, is not being tapped into. So we saw a lot of opportunity in Tuli, and we're exporting these opportunities. And Tuli is not only about the pioneer column. There's a lot of other pre-colonial civilizations that were resident in Tuli or the Mapungubwe state. But if you ask a lot of people about Mapungubwe, they think Mapungubwe is only in South Africa. And yet the Mapungubwe kingdom extended from South Africa into Botswana, Zimbabwe, and part of Mozambique. So those are the opportunities that we are tapping into, and that's why today we are in a Beitbridge, Tuli area.
The Mat South province is made up of 7 districts, Beitbridge being one that runs campfire projects. And as a district, we are having 3 safari operators which run this kind of business. All these concessions, as I speak, the concessions that benefits the surrounding communities. Beitbridge is one of the districts that has a lot of opportunities in terms of ecotourism. It is also the only area or district in the province that you can still see game in large numbers. As a district, this is the only area that you can still get lions, leopards, all the big 5 except the rhinos only. For the rest, you can still get them. If you talk of Beitbridge, you will see everyone's ears clicking. They only know Beitbridge of running this kind of crossing. Beitbridge is one district that still has a lot of game. So we always believe there is no any other way that can market us, that can put Beitbridge on map other than tourism.
My name is Joseph Nyamande. I am a Zimbabwean who has been living in the UK for the last 20 years. My passion has always been back home, and I'm here on a trip where we are going to be touring the Tuli area camp and the Beitbridge area and all other areas in between. Was inspired by the Rural Development Enterprise Trust group, where I've been a member of for the past few months. On this group, I've seen testimonies. I've been sharing information with like-minded people who are passionate about rural development in Zimbabwe. In the rural areas of Zimbabwe is where most opportunities lie, but very much under utilized, especially by the Zimbabweans themselves. The Zimbabwean people have, for some reason, veered off to thinking living in the city centers like Harare and visiting other cosmopolitan areas of the world like London, New York is as the epitome of life and opportunities, but on the contrary, it's actually vice versa. There are so many opportunities that are open to anyone Zimbabwean and as well as foreigners.
Hello and welcome back. You're still watching Sustain for Future Generations. Now joining me is Mkoma Maramani. Thank you so much for welcoming us to your very beautiful place. Can you tell us a bit more about this particular campsite? Where is it and what kind of activities are found here?
This is a Maramani 4x4 tented camp, which is at Ward 8 Maramani, Ward Maramani, so it's also named Ward Maramani, village number 16, under Shashe village number 16. We We have got an abduction block with some toilets and bathrooms. We usually have clients who spend the night here sleeping in the tents. However, we don't supply food, we only supply accommodation. And we've got some places of interest, in fact, some places to view, like the mountains, the bushes. Sometimes we have elephants. That's a place where elephants, they like the fever tree which is around here. They like feeding on the fever tree which is around here, so they are always here. And we also have some birds, different kinds of birds. Yeah, and the Limpopo River,
which is a very beautiful background.
Yes, with these pools which run perennial.
How is Campfire interacting with the community? How is the community around here benefiting in a sustainable manner from this venture?
Yeah, it's like a community, benefit in, like when we have clients, they leave something in form of cash. So then we, through schools, clinic, and the roads, that's where the community benefits. It's not in a personally or individual beneficial, somebody benefiting in personal or individual. Just benefiting those preparing the roads, donating to the schools, to the clinic, and to the hazards, like when there are strong winds, some homes are blown out by the strong winds, things like that. Some homes are burnt by lightning, and so we help those people. Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the most successful moments that you can say since this has started, such and such has happened for the community? Just maybe an example of some of the achievements of the Campfire program.
Yeah, Dakar donate. That is in 20. In fact, the camp was built in 2013. And since then until 2016, that's when we started having my events, like the Wild Run, the Tuli. So otherwise, Mashure Kodakasingawani anything. So Daga donata Goshkoro knows Mapani, which is within the ward. Mapani Primary School, Daga donata ma window frames for the whole block. Daga donata mapenda to the clinic, which was blown in 2019 November by strong winds. We donated cement, and to the other school, the Jalukanga, which is also in the ward, we donated cement, about 20 bags for a classroom floor to be done. And to the secondary school, again, Chacha Secondary School, Daga donate Baga Torone Mempo, Daga donate mama cement and the roofing material.
Zvakakoshere kuti vanhu vari mucommunity vabenefite from tourism activities ari munharaunda mavo.
Yes. Yeah, zvakakosha. They have got the right to their natural resources. They should benefit one way or the other. They are supposed to benefit. Like my elephants, usually when they eat so we are supposed to compensate them one way or the other. Then we've got also my problem animals here, like vana hyena, vana lion, some chipa mapungube when the river's not in flood crossing here. So they are problem animals too. My domestic animals even. Yeah, so as we're on the campfire upset, I campfire pa nenge the gutters to compensate.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Beautiful. There you have it, out here in Tuli, where we were discussing sustainable tourism, where the community benefits from the natural resources that are around them. This is Sustain for future generations.
This is a very important area that is rich in culture, that is rich in heritage, that is rich in biodiversity. And this is the sort of area that could be used for tourism. Just to elaborate a little further in terms of the richness of this area, this is an area that is known for giving rise to the first state systems in Southern Africa, dating back to the 11th and 12th centuries AD, associated with the kingdom of Mapungubwe and the kingdom of Mapela. But also, this is an area that is also very rich in history to do with the early encroachment of colonialism into the country. That is defined by the Tuli Circle, which became the gateway during the 19th century that led to the colonization of Zimbabwe. But also we have got a wide range of both plant and animal species, and all these could be utilized for tourism. The kind of resources we have here, we have got some stunning archaeological sites, like the site of Mapela. We have also a number of archaeological sites that represents the ancient Mapungubwe kingdom, including Mapungubwe itself on the South African side. And there are also a number of other sites also on the Botswana side. So there are a number of archaeological sites. We also do have a number of rock art sites, art which is well executed on rock surfaces in this region. We also have grain storage facilities which show high levels of sophistication by our pre-colonial communities, that they knew that they had to store food to take care of those years when the harvests were not all that good. But also in terms of the biodiversity, we do have a wide range of trees. We also, and plant life. We also do have a number of animals, including your big five, some of your big five, like your elephants, giraffe, kudu, and many other antelopes and animals that you can find in this area.
To begin with, the cost of running business in the rural areas is very, very minimal. There is a lot of manpower in form of the local people who can easily be involved in whatever projects one decides to do in those areas. They will also provide lots of information about those areas, and it gives a competitive edge to setting up businesses elsewhere, where your overheads will be a lot more in terms of rentals, parking, even risk of vandalism in cases of highly urbanized areas. So I believe it is very sustainable.
How sustainable is it for us to showcase our culture? Like, will future generations be able to continue to benefit from the showcase of our culture?
You know, culture doesn't get rotten. You get it. Culture is always there. It's not like mining, where you extract and the next day that mineral is not there. You replenish the product. It's not like it's not like any other or any other industry. So our culture will always be there. And culture is not an industry that you can really go and apply to say, I want to do culture. It's part of us. We are just living our way. We are just like a living museum. So exporting that and commercializing that, making it marketable, is always sustainable, because we will always have our culture. We need our culture to go places, and we need our other nationalities and other races to know more about our culture. And it's sustainable.
Definitely, it is sustainable. Now, you're still watching Sustain, and today we're looking at sustainable tourism ideas here in the Tuli region. Now, Tarquin and his brother discovered dinosaur bones right here in Tuli, and he was 10 years old. Let's check out a story where he narrates what he found and exactly what it means. These are some of the cultural opportunities that you find right here in Beitbridge in Matebeleland South to sustain for future generations.
So this is also a fossil, but you can hear by the sound. Okay. But the way the color comes out, and also the structure, like you can see these ones have got a lot of cracks, whereas other ones are more solid. You can see that one is black. And you can also, if you pick up that one, you'll see it's very, very heavy because it's got a lot of iron in the soil. So what happens is the bone being replaced by the minerals, it depends what the minerals around the bone were to affect the color. That stuff there is even older than the dinosaurs. So the black stuff there. So that comes from the Tuli coal on Nottingham. For anyone who wants to actually understand what we're looking at, these are a minimum of all these red ones came out of a space of about 1/2 meter by 1/2 meter and about that much. And there were 3 different animals fossilized together, which tells us maybe they were carried by water and then dropped by water and then mud like that. And so you've got the spine, you've got the tail, you've got some pieces of neck. It had a long neck and a long tail, like a dog but with a long neck and a long tail. And then here you've got this bone from the hip there.
Femur.
From the femur, yes. And what you can see, these 2 are the same femur. And there was a 3rd one which is a different size. It's all this left femur. And so what that told us, it very clearly showed us that there were 3 different animals all fossilized in one place. Yeah. So obviously things change with time, and so they would have started with 4 legs, walking on 4 legs, and then, like for instance, it changed because you see those whiter bones. The animal that was, it was called a Massospondylus, a very well-researched animal in South Africa. That one is believed to have walked on 2 legs. Because it was a light animal, it wasn't a very heavy animal. And then as they started getting bigger and bigger, they had more weight, so they started using their legs. And so this dinosaur, although it was very similar to the Massospondylus, walked on all 4 legs. And the bones, you can see with these bones, they're much more short and strong, whereas the other one had thin, quite long bones.
So these fossils were found in this area?
In this area. So
your ancestors are the ones who dug them up?
I and my brother discovered this one when we were about 10 years old.
Now this is a simple example of how you can also set up a simple sustainable tourism idea even in your own rural areas, where we can showcase our culture and everything that we have to offer. Now you've been watching Sustain, where we were discussing sustainable ideas in the Tuli area of Matebeleland South. Now until next time, my name is Dash. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.